Okay, guys, so here's the deal. I finally came to terms with the fact that if I keep waiting until I have time to actually make this video about the travel kitchen for you, it's never going to get made because I'm never going to have time because I keep thinking that I'm going to have more time next week, but I've been thinking that for like a decade now, and clearly it's not happening. So I'm just going to go ahead and make it. And it's just going to be how it's going to be. And I'm not going to like perfect it or anything, but we're going to dive in and I'm just going to show you what's in here so that we can move on to other things.
So if you remember, first thing I'm going to show you is this bag that I love. It's a great bag, great camping bag. You can see it has pockets over here and pockets. Whoa, we're shaking the whole thing, but pockets over there. And then when you pick up the lid or the cover, whatever, there are pockets in there, which hopefully you could see. This bag is actually huge, so it's really difficult to get it on the camera from where the camera stand is. That's better. I guess it's not huge, but it's it's bigger than my camera wants to fit. And then it has these dividers in here that are removable with Velcro, so you can make this all one big pocket if you want. And then I know I showed you this in the one of the previous videos, but I'll just show you the strap situation again. So it has like carrying straps. Wow, I'm really shaking the camera. Sorry, guys. Let's see if I can. There we go. Okay, maybe that'll be better. And then it has a crossbody or over-the-shoulder strap, which is padded, which is nice. And then there are actually hooks on the bottom of the bag, and it comes with another one of these straps, so you could put one on either side, and you can wear this as a backpack as well. So let's break down what's in the bag. So I wasn't kidding when I said I had no plan of where I was going to start. I think we're just going to start. Let's start with the outer pockets and then just work our way in. Okay, so I'm going to start out with, let's start with the pockets facing me. Okay, so one of these front pockets, it's this pocket, but on the flip side. You've seen these a million times because I'm in love with these bags, these spice bags, of, surprisingly, spices. So it's my own assortment of spices, but it's the ones I focused on, either spice mixes, so just I could do more with less, and some of the very basics. You could totally fit more than what I have in these bags, or in this bag. Like you could fit more pouches in one of these pockets. I just didn't want to overcomplicate my life. She said as she unpacked the giant traveling kitchen, but I didn't want to overcomplicate it more. Oh, so this pocket I like to have accessible if I can while I'm in the car. I pack this differently for different trips, and it can be configured in different ways. But our last trip, I had the bag where I could reach it and get this. So I have some disposable bags in there just for emergency snack needs, like if we bought a big bag of snacks and then had a meltdown because everyone wanted their own bag, mostly from the kids, but occasionally from the adults. No, I'm kidding, just usually the kids. Then I would sometimes use those, but more often than not, I use more of these cups. These are great for drinks. They're also good for holding snacks and just passing them back and forth to kids, and you can also use them at your destination. Okay, this other pocket, this is really not very practical. I honestly wouldn't recommend doing this, but I have these coffee mugs. They're not disposable, but they're like dollar store. These ones might be Target. I don't know. Basically, multiple trips that I've gone on, my husband and I have ended up buying some version of these for like $1.99 wherever we end up. So we buy these and then be like, yeah, we're going to take them with us next time we go on a trip. And then we never would. And my house is now full of cups like this that we got. So I just stuck 3 of them in this bag because I have space. I don't know that that's really something that I would specifically recommend, but what I would say is that definitely don't get hung up on things being so travel friendly that they're not you friendly. So whatever you're bringing, make sure that it's something that you actually want to use and you're not going to buy a different substitute when you're at your destination. Okay, let's look at this other side now. I don't even know what's in here, so we're going to be surprised together. Oh, of course, I should have known. Emergency coffee, because we've talked about this. I have emergency needs for coffee and Splenda. Here, this was actually a purchase after our last trip. I thought this was silly, but we ended up really needing silverware, and we just bought a bunch of plastic silverware, and I was not thrilled about that. And then we also had to bring it all back with us because I didn't want to waste it, whatever. So I ended up buying these. They're actually great. So it's a spoon, a fork, a knife, and then it actually comes with chopsticks, which is really cool. And then this pocket is, let's see, this pocket is clips, which actually are super useful when you're traveling because we buy snacks all the time, even if we don't intend to. With kids, it happens everywhere. You know, it's like every once in a while, it's like, yeah, you can get a snack. And then we have all these snack bags and they're just loose everywhere. And so I just, whoa. Okay, just ignore that happened because I'm not even going to take care of it right now. We're just going to keep going. But clips are very useful. And I keep these. And if you saw, I also had the sweetener in a bag like this. They're reusable plastic bags. So in a pinch, I can always dump these out, use the plastic bag if I need it, and wash it out and put everything back in before we leave again. All right, so let's look in, see the top. Yeah, so this is what the top looks like, but I'm just gonna lay it like this and show you what's in these small pockets. So right now I happen to have a bunch of leftover napkins that fit perfectly in here, so I put them all in here. Fun story about these napkins. They are from my 10-year-old son's first birthday because we had a ton of leftover napkins. And I was like, football napkins, we should save those for hosting Super Bowl parties or whatever. And I never remembered we had them. And so they just sat in my basement for a very long time. And apparently they moved with us and then continued to sit in my basement. So now we're working on using them up. This thing is also like constantly evolving as I learn my needs. Like there were a few things I purchased after our last trip that I realized it was really just a problem for me to not have them. And I'll show you what those things were. So the way I have this divided up right now is I have dairy stuff here, I have meat stuff here, and I have like assorted items or things that don't fit or whatever over here. And like I said, I usually almost always bring that, you know, my smaller bag that just has my personal items like my coffee cup and that oven safe silicone container and all that. So all those items can also supplement the things that are in here. So let's unpack dairy side first. So these containers, I again love me some collapsible silicone containers. These ones are not oven safe, which, you know, it's lovely when they are, but the truth is that they're much more budget friendly when they're not, and I don't need a whole ton of oven safe ones. So I got these ones that are, you know, freezer safe, microwave safe, dishwasher safe, just not oven safe. And these are great for bringing with, and then I can store leftovers in them or use them I can even use them to throw together a small salad or something. And if I want to make like veggies in the microwave or something, I can do that in here too. So I got 2 blue ones for dairy, and then in this section I have 2 red ones for meat, and I'll actually just kind of show you them at the same time. And obviously you're going to have way more room than I do if you don't carry 2 of everything so that you have separate things for meat and dairy. You can get a smaller bag. You could probably put all your food that you want to bring in this bag. As of now, I do travel with both. I could always, you know, opt to only prepare either meat or dairy at our destination and just bring one set with me. For right now, as of our last trip, there was no need to do that. So I have this. Okay. So then again, what I have for meat and dairy, this was actually a purchase after this last trip, is I just went to the dollar store and I got like, what are these called? Like dish drying mats, because trying to figure out a place to put my dishes down. Like I know Airbnbs for the most part are pretty clean and all of that, but I don't know. I'm just like kind of weird about some things, and the entire idea of just putting things that we eat off of down on like a counter that's not mine, or like, I don't know. I don't really know what my issue is with it, but I like having somewhere to dry my dishes. So it's not even putting the dishes down, it's putting wet dishes down. Anyways, so I find that really useful. So I have that with me. In here, I also have cutting boards. So again, one for dairy, one for meat. I like using these really thin but sturdy ones. This was another, I think, Home Goods purchase, but I will find similar ones for you that I can link. I also have collapsible bowls. And these can be serving bowls, mixing bowls, salad bowls, whatever. So right now, I have 2 dairy ones in here and a meat one. That seems really excessive to me. I just kind of have it because I had the space and just put them in here. But, you know, you can always take things out. And what I've done in the past for other trips also is, you know, taken some items out and put food items in here instead. I also have the panini press and the electric skillet that I bring with me. And so those also fit in this bag. And sometimes that requires taking certain things out and just kind of prioritizing. I don't have those with me right here, but I've shown them a number of other times, and they're linked on the link tree in my bio, and I'll provide the link for you in this video, and they do fit in this bag. The panini press especially is like nice and compact and fits in here really nicely. The electric skillet is a little larger, and sometimes if I don't want to bring it or don't have space, I bring 1 or 2 of the Dash minis that I showed you before for the stuff that I bring in my checked baggage occasionally. And then for each of these, I got little containers. Well, not so little containers, but you know, containers, and just have some basic cutlery or cooking utensils in them. For the dairy one, my knife didn't fit, and I really dislike using bad knives. So I don't need like expensive or high, like, you know, quality steel per se, just like an actual functional real knife. So I like carrying that with me. And a lot of the items that I have in here are things that I already had in my house when I was putting this together. Like I did not purchase everything to go into this bag, but I will do my best to find links for all of these items, and anything I can't find, I will share a link to something similar, and I'll note that so you know it's not the exact same thing. And then besides the knife for dairy, I have just an assortment of things that I use, but you know, and they're all on the smaller side, they're all mini size, but tongs and ladles and spatulas and all this good stuff, just like an assortment. And I kind of used assorted minis again that I had, so they're not all matching, but you can be as matchy as you like with things. I just know that I could very easily go down a rabbit hole of spending a fortune trying to make everything match, because that's very much the type of thing I would do. So I have to look out for that. For meat, my knife did fit in the container, so I have it in there. And then same idea, fewer things for meat, but just this assortment also, spatula, spoon, tongs, slotted spatula, another set of tongs. Okay, and my children just got home, so I am going to go feed them dinner, and then I will continue this later. Okay, so we are back. Really all we have left is this last section. So this is kind of my assorted things. This is like one of those, you know, it's like a pot holder and a can opener and a grippy thing and a trivet and whatever you want. So this is just something I find useful to have in here. So I bring that along, especially since it doesn't really take up any room. These were my purchase actually after this trip that I'm very excited about. These were like, I want to say $4.99 on Amazon. But they are collapsible dish pans that theoretically are very simple to open, but as you can tell, my fingers are not being my friends today. Okay, so I got 2 of these, again, one for meat and one for dairy. If that's not a thing you do, you don't need 2 of them, but they're really compact, and it makes it a lot easier to have dirty dishes instead of having to do everything right away. So I was really excited about that. Um, Cling wrap and aluminum foil so that I can cover things. Is easier for me to just bring these entire rolls, but I'm sure there's some travel hack, travel friendly way to pack them better that maybe I'll figure out one day and then I'll share with you. But right now I just throw the rolls in there. Full size dishwashing stuff. This is basically the same thing that you saw in the other bags, except I just bring a full thing of dish soap and then those silicone sponges and those reusable paper towels, one for meat and one for dairy. This is actually just a cutout piece of some countertop liner that I keep in here just as a surface protector from various things, for various things. It's just a useful thing to have in there. And again, it takes up no space. So I tend to bring that with me. This is the reusable Ziploc bag that I keep my condiments in. I usually have ketchup and mustard in here as well, but I keep those in the fridge when we're not traveling, even though they are shelf stable, but that way they stay fresh longer. And then I have balsamic vinegar, which used to be labeled, but I think the label may have fallen off because I don't see it on here. And then olive oil. And I initially had olive oil in a container like this. And even though they're pretty good about being leak proof, it was like greasy. These are my favorite for traveling with oil ever since I discovered them. They are seriously leak proof and amazing, and I highly recommend them. I will link those below as well. And then the ketchup and mustard are just in old, well, not old, they were clean, but in toiletry bottles that I had around my house that had not been used, like those silicone travel ones. This is just assorted items. Pair of kitchen scissors, and then these, it's kind of this, as long as they fit, I have them, and then I can always take them out. So pizza cutter, peeler, a zester, and a grater, and then this set came with just this ridiculously unnecessary, like massive opener that I'll probably take out of there because it's just so laughable. I will link the set because I found it on Amazon. I don't know that it's something I would necessarily suggest purchasing, although I would bring like a peeler of some sort with you. This is a kettle and it collapses and you can switch the voltage. You can see on the bottom. So it's actually good for travel as well, for international travel. And you just go like that and then put that there. Okay, and then you have a kettle and then there's a plug in here. And you literally just plug that in, fill it with water and heat it. I was on like 2 or 3 different trips where there was no way to heat up water. Like there was no kettle. I could have just put it in a cup and put it in the microwave, but like I don't know, I just wasn't feeling like it was worth it and it was just frustrating. And then this was on sale at some point and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy it. And in fact, I have 0 regrets. So this is actually a surprisingly handy and useful little tool. And it just fits right in here.
Okay, and that wraps up all my different iterations of my travel kitchen. Obviously, you should adapt it to whatever your particular travel needs are and the needs of your family and all of that. But with some sort of setup similar to this, you should be good to feed yourself, feed the people with you for however long you need, as long as you're able to get to a grocery store or something. In some upcoming posts, I definitely plan to share some of the different recipes that I've discovered are pretty easy to make on the road or in a hotel room, so you can have those in your back pocket. I also definitely plan to get new content out to you much more quickly now that I have at least a little bit more of an idea of what I'm doing, I think, maybe. So stick around and more good things to come.